Hi, and welcome to the last and third day of the ESTD conference review. So my name's Dr. Mike Lloyd. I'm the director of the CTAG clinic. The ESTD AFTD conference has just closed after the third day and again, an impeccably organised and well put together last day. I think the two highlights from today's were Francois Leboeuf, who was talking about trauma and betrayal and how traumatic betrayal within the attachment process significantly alters the effect of complex trauma over the lifespan. What was really interesting was the discussion from Francois about betrayal blindness and how the actual nature of the betrayal from the attachment caregiver to the child during the sort of the childhood neglect and or abuse situations are not seen or are dissociated away from the child, so that the child is not even aware that the betrayal is taking place as a protective mechanism, so that this lends betrayal after betrayal as the child then grows into the adult and has the realization of what took place in childhood, and the understanding of the betrayal and the way that that has to be re-evaluated can lead to further re-traumatization, and how the absence of knowing about the betrayal potentially links to the re-victimization, so that people then end up going through adolescence and into their adult life having similar traumatic experiences because they are simply not aware of the things that have taken place as a result of that betrayal blindness. An absolutely fascinating topic, something I think I'd like to come back to and do some more reading on, and also maybe a video in of itself. And then I suppose the Barnstorming presentation from Ruth Lanius, which was about the dimensions of trauma and the way that we understand the critical nature of how trauma affects brain areas by looking at the dimensions of time, thought, the body, and the emotion. And specifically with the body, I think that was the most interesting part. Looking at how important our physical security is and how our balance and our sort of gravitational security is altered by complex trauma. So the repeated attachment traumas that take place through childhood. And really just kind of building in this picture about how we understand our internal processes, those gut feelings, how people make sense of them and how people are dissociated from them. So really develop this unintegrated sense of self. So the mechanism by which the development of the personality has not integrated almost at any level, and looking at MRI scans of the brain for dissociative, non-dissociative PTSD versus non-PTSD, and actually being able to look at the mapping of the brain to see how trauma has affected someone at that visceral level. So the neurobiological sequencing of trauma is taking place in the brain and is visible under these physical conditions. Aside from anything else, it's a really beautiful way of being able to show someone who doesn't believe that dissociation and trauma really have this sort of significant impact, that they absolutely do. And the complex trauma and the more simple PTSD trauma are being viewed under these settings. And the way that Ruth set it out and put it across was absolutely astonishing. So I would very much recommend anybody wanting to know more about betrayal trauma or the dimensional constructs of trauma and how this affects us to look at these authors. Additional work today, Patrick Luyten was incredibly entertaining and went through mentalization, building on the work that was I learned about and talked with David Elliott on the first day. So a fantastic 3-day full program for the ESTD conference in Brussels, and they announced that the next major congress of the ESTD is going to take place in Poland in 2024, and I think very much that will be a good thing to go to. So thank you very much for listening. I hope that it's been a sort of a nice journey to sort of follow me through these 3 days, and I'll be putting more content on the YouTube channel and building in, I think, some of the narratives that I've picked up over the last 3 days. I'm really keen to share them, so I think that would be a lovely thing to be able to do. So thank you very much for watching, and do take care of yourselves.